This evening, Guyana to enter FATCA agreement with the United States of America. No more secret accounts in foreign banks.
I started pulling his toes. I'm on the ground, no movement.
Sleeping man shot 4 times in bed, wife traumatized. U.S. Department requires screening for all persons traveling from Piarco to the United States of America. And Guyana observes International Youth Day. In the region, Cuba celebrates Fidel Castro's 90th birthday, and internationally, low employment rate and easy access to drugs create a disturbing crisis in Punjab, India, of addiction and overdose of its youths.
From Safetv headquarters in South Raval Gardens, this is Safetv Headline News with Mondell Smith.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website safetvguyana.com. Join us. In our first story, we tell you that Minister Annette Ferguson is calling on Guyanese to comply with the United States Department of Homeland Security Transportation Security Administration emergency amendment orders to be screened again if departing to the United States from Trinidad and Tobago. Andrew Weeks had this headline news exclusive with the minister.
The USA TSA Emergency Amendment directs aircraft operators to screen all transfer and transit passengers and their accessible property at the Piarco International Airport as the last point of departure when traveling to the United States prior to boarding the aircraft.
To answer your question, yes, Guyana is willing to comply with the regulations or the notice set out by TSA.
Passengers originating from Guyana and other destinations transferring at the Piarco International Airport to the United States must undergo security screening together with their accessible property. This sudden regulation imposed on passengers is believed to have resulted from the 9 Trinidad and Tobago nationals who were detained in Turkey on July 27. They were held with a Syrian man who was taking them via truck to Syria for recruitment by ISIS, Turkey's Daily Sabab reported. They are now at Turkey's Adana Migration Center. The Trinidad and Tobago government is waiting a report on the circumstances of their presence there from Turkish authorities. And because of this, the Americans are taking no chances where ISIS is concerned. Abraham Doris, manager of airport security, spoke with Headline News about the state of the MOU that was signed between Guyana and Trinidad in 2015 and its effect, if any, on Guyana.
Well, the Trinidad Civil Aviation Authority and the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority indeed entered into an agreement, an MOU, sometime last year. This document also provided for such situations. In fact, there is an article in the MOU that allows for the suspension of an MOU once a third state requires additional security measures to be put in place, and in fact that article has been invoked.
Minister Ferguson made the following plea to Guyanese traveling to the United States via the last point of departure.
I just want, in the meantime, to say to Guyanese, I know you're reasonable people out there. I just want to let you know we need to be compliant. If it is a case that, well, look, you have to be screened when you get to Trinidad just before leaving Trinidad, please be compliant. Do not give the authorities any difficulty. This is the regulations that has been set out by the TSA, and we need to follow the regulations contained therein.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure and the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority will be issuing public advisory notifying passengers of the new regulation on security screening in Trinidad and Tobago by the TSA. Mondell, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. The life of a father of 2 hangs in the balance as he lies unconscious in the intensive care unit of the Georgetown Public Hospital after going missing for 3 days. Embro Gomez Adrian, aged 32, left his Lot 3 Adventure Quarantine home for work on Tuesday, but never arrived.
He left to work on Tuesday. He says he's going to work on Tuesday, and he left home around 9:30 time. And he came out on the road and took a taxi.
His father-in-law, Andrew Hickman, spoke with Safetv News about the family's frustration in trying to find the missing man, which took them to several police stations and twice to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation before he was found.
And they said if any vehicle enter the compound, if it's a knowing person or unknown, the book is going to state if it's a knowing person, and the book is going to state if it's an unknown person.
Good.
But they said they don't have any record about that. We went over by the Matri area, and they had to unidentified person, and I said that is too big person. That is not them.
In fact, the man went missing for 3 days before he was found in the intensive care unit of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. The man's relatives are calling for the police to investigate the accident to ascertain what happened. Meanwhile, they are seeking prayers from the public for the man to regain consciousness.
And when I went to the Barbies Park, right, I showed some driver this
photograph.
Yes, and one of them told me that he was coming down when an accident took part, and he was right behind the vehicle, and he said this exact person was in the car. Some police guy went here this morning, and they got the information that the patient is not in the hospital. That is what I just found out. The nurse told me.
Okay. So the patient is in the hospital.
Yes.
And what do you want the police to do?
Well, I want the police to take further action because he's in a critical condition at the present moment.
Post-cabinet news now. Cabinet received a request from the Minister of Finance, Winston Jordan, for the government of Guyana to sign a reciprocal Model A1 intergovernmental agreement with the United States of America, Internal Revenue Services. Minister of State Joseph Harmon made the announcement on Thursday at its weekly post-cabinet press briefing. Andrew Weeks reports.
This agreement will allow financial institutions in Guyana to identify and disclose details regarding the holders of United States dollars accounts.
Minister of State and Cabinet Secretary Joseph Harmon. Mr. Harmon also stated that in 2014, Ghana was regarded as having an intergovernmental agreement with the United States Internal Revenue Services. He explains further.
As a consequence, local financial institutions were required to submit reports for 2014, but were unable to do so because the agreement was not in place. So therefore, reports for 2014 and 2015 are now due and to be submitted by September 30th, 2016.
Minister Harmon also stated that the signing of the IGA will also allow the conclusion of the service agreement with the software provider for the installation of reporting software related to the Foreign Accounts Tax Compliance Act, also known as FACTA, thus bolstering Ghana's anti-money laundering and countering the financial terrorism trust. For years, governments around the world have tried to prevent major players from evading taxes. To avoid certain measures attached to reporting their wealth, some persons have resorted to playing their ill-gotten wealth in accounts outside of the country. Mondale, with Guyana signing the Model A1 intergovernmental agreement with the United States of America Internal Revenue Service, it will provide FACTA with alternative ways to cross-checking information and locating its taxpayers who fail to report their assets. Mondale, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. Coming up on Headline News after the break, Okama celebrates 20th anniversary and Guyana celebrates International Youth Day. Stay tuned.
Everybody knows John Lewis Styles as the Levi's and Dockers store. But did you know we're also an authorized dealer for Nautica, Perry Ellis, US Polo, Natural Issue, Joffrey Bean, and many others. We also carry the Bruno and Drill brands, who are actually the makers of Express shirts. at half the price of Express. So the next time you think of men's clothing, shoes, and accessories, there's only one choice. John Lewis Style. Simply different.
School is out and it's time to start buying those school supplies for your children. Here's how GRA can help. Textbooks, coloring books, graph books, dictionaries, pencils, erasers, crayons, lunch kits, scientific calculators, printers, and many more essential school supplies are zero-rated. That means they attract 0% VAT. Locally produced garments such as shirts, pants, skirts, and dresses are also zero-rated, but only if they were locally manufactured. So what are you waiting for? Get to shopping.
Get your back-to-school supplies at Colors. Backpacks from Nike and G-Tech, K-Swiss and Levi's in black. Getting gear for back-to-school is always a task, but Colors has the back-to-school sale for you. When you purchase, write your name, address and telephone number on the back of your coupon and drop it in the box. School bags, boots, everything you need for back to school. Enter and win Monster headphones, 2 tablets, 1 mountain bike. School vouchers accepted. 225-9980.
With a distinctive flavor, Umda Palka ghee is made from 100% pure vegetable oil. This Palka ghee is a delight when preparing sweetmeats and other dishes for healthy cooking with a rich buttery taste and aroma. It is used for religious purposes and is a principal fuel for burning. Umda Palka ghee is light, pure, with a real ghee texture.
When you think back-to-school shopping, think clearance. Get your boys in shoes for school in brands like Timberland, Reebok, Land Rover LRX, and more. While for your girls, there are Hush Puppies, Clarks, LRX, and many others. What about backpacks? Get long-lasting brands like Swiss Brand, JanSport, Nike, and Kenneth Cole, including Police and Dockers pants for boys, all at clearance. For quality clothing at affordable prices, clearance, always keeping you in style.
It's slipping through our hands, we're sinking in the sand.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town. Served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Only at Kissoon's can you get the guaranteed offer of up to 50% discount on every item in their blowout factory surplus sale. 50% off for Guyana's 50th anniversary right through the year. Check it out at their spacious factory outlet at Reinfeldt Industrial Park, where parking is no problem. They're in the mood to celebrate at Kissoon's. Once you want it, Kissoon's will make sure you don't leave without it.
This is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day. I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
For more news that you can believe in, last evening President David Granger attended the 20th anniversary celebration forum of the Okama Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development at the Artachong Convention Center. Andrew Weeks has that story.
President David Granger likened Okama, which is located in the center of Guyana, to the Garden of Eden. He said that it was a decision and a shared responsibility to place portions of Guyana's forest under preservation.
Our country, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, immediately took that responsibility into account. There and then, we boldly embraced the idea that a small fish could make a big wave in the world. We committed 371,000 hectares of our forests, an area larger than Malta, an area larger than the Maldives, an area larger than Montserrat. We committed this huge area in the middle of our country to be used as a model for conservation and sustainable development.
The President highlighted that the celebration of the Okama Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development reminds us that a small country like Guyana can make a positive difference impacting climate change. He hopes that with enough international support, Okama can become a future hub for the study of biodiversity.
Guyana will continue to seek support for the establishment of an international institute for biodiversity at Okama to complement the work of the center's efforts and education on sustainable development. This institute will allow for students and researchers from the Guyana Shield, from the rest of the continent, from the Caribbean, and from the rest of the world to come to Okama to study its rich biodiversity and to increase their knowledge and understanding of our vital ecosystems.
The President further thanked all those who have been involved in promoting the objectives for the preservation of Okama. Andrew Weeks reporting for Safetv2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. The image of my boyfriend being shot continues to haunt me, says a girlfriend of man who was shot up in bed from through a bedroom window on Wednesday night. Here's more in this story. Having narrowly escaped death, Brinsley David, age 25, remains a patient at the Georgetown Public Hospital. He was rushed to the institution just about midnight on Wednesday, where he underwent surgery to remove several bullets. On Wednesday night, at Lot 11 Brush Dam, Buxton, Friendship, a gunman opened fire on him through an open window, hitting him 4 times during sleep. His mother, who lives a stone's throw away, was at her sewing machine when she heard gunshots, followed by loud screams from her daughter-in-law.
Do you think someone was trying to execute him?
Yes, I think so. That whoever it is, they wanted him dead, because I don't think anybody that didn't want to kill somebody would fire so much shots at them.
But
Sitting there, so when I heard the gunshots, but I didn't really think for nothing, because sometimes, you know, when boys when they sport, and they might shoot up in the ear and stuff. I don't know. If it's mistaken identity, I don't know. I don't know.
His girlfriend of 5 years, Zion Clark, called Diamond, witnessed the shooting. It was a sudden thirst for water that saved her from being shot also.
I get habit to kill the mosquitoes, and I jump up on the chair on the bed and I clap the mosquito. Since I finish, I see me blind pole. And when me blind pole, all I start seeing is sparks start go off. Well, after the first shot that was dealt to me, the light came off, and after that is very wild rapid shots I started hearing. I on the ground, I screaming all the time. And then I heard somebody run across me bridge and me gate me.
A visibly traumatized Clark says she has no idea what may have caused the gunman to take such drastic action against her boyfriend, whom she says has been keeping the peace for a while now. The two recently returned from neighboring Suriname, where they both worked as caretakers.
And I think probably maybe if I was on the bed too, I can't see over my head, I would have been there too, with no tales to tell.
The injured man's family is calling for the police to take swift action to find the shooter so that peace could reign and the escalation of any further issues be averted.
Thank you so much. Everything will happen. I started pulling his toes from on the ground, no movement. Well, I stopped screaming because I said me want to continue screaming and the person know that I'm still alive and probably I witness whatever and come in and finish. So I stopped screaming and I started checking. I asked him, I said, baby, you know you got shot, but he was still asleep. He was still asleep because although he got shot, he was still asleep. I just wanted to go and shake him and wake him, and he opened the eyes and he said, baby, you know you got shot, baby, you know you got shot, and he keep grunting and like he panting with air.
According to the police, Brinsley David, a Buxtonian, was shot and injured Wednesday night while in bed moments after his wife left the bedroom of the East Coast Demerara home. The incident occurred at about 11 o'clock at Brush Dam. After the attack, he was rushed into surgery at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. The stage is set for the crowning of a 2016 Miss Guyana Emancipation Queen on Sunday. While Guyana is often referred to as a country with too many pageants, the organizers are assuring that this event, unlike other pageants, will be culturally uplifting, educative and inspirational. Safetv 2 was at the grand rehearsals at the National Cultural Center. Akila Day is the reigning queen. Here's more.
We are one people in one nation with a common destiny. So let you and I work in unity.
With my brother who claims he loves me, abuse me for all to see.
I will not mourn the death of my unborn son. I will not mourn the death of my unborn son. I will not write his eulogy. I will not teach him to tutor cop. I will not tell him learn to shut up.
The 7 delegates aged 19 to 23 years old include an educator, a medical and agricultural science student, and an environmentalist as well as a clerk. They include Shalon Messiah, Faith Harding, Shemaine Daniels, Kippany Jordan, Gabrielle Chapman, Delicia White, and Jasmine Adams.
We as an African people have failed. We failed to open our eyes and realize that we are still in captivity. We allow ourselves to be carried away by what we see, what we hear, and what we've learned. Don't you want to know more?
Black people are like the phoenix, you know, the Greek mythological creature who lives for over 1,000 years, dies in a show of flames and combustion, and then obtains new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor.
In keeping with the International Decade of People of African Descent, the delegates were tasked with preparing an original spoken word presentation that focuses on unity for people of African descent. On pageant night, the bevy of beauties will also be featured in business attire influenced by their career choice, as well as African waxed prints, which represent their African culture. Additionally, they also completed a project that focuses on promoting science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM, which will be featured on pageant night.
A decade from now, we will take our rightful place. decked out in our crowns, refusing to be tied down, for the world needs to be aware of our presence.
If they all aspire to fight wars and fire, not forgetting fighting each other, who are going to be the scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians the world is seeking to hire?
Elegance would be showcased in evening wear made of African lace before their intelligence would be tested. The questions would be asked, selected from information gleaned at lectures conducted on African history and empowerment. 4 winners will be selected to answer a final question from the chief judge. In its 5th year, the pageant owner is Dr. Melissa Varswick, and the delegates were trained by past contestants and queens of the pageant dating back to 2012. Dr. Varswick says persons should understand that it is not just a run-of-the-mill pageant, but more of an evening of elegance that offers a true African cultural experience. And finally, in our local news, we tell you that youths call for more inclusion as Guyana observes International Youth Day. International Youth Day was hosted under the theme, The Road to 2030, Eradicating Poverty and Achieving Sustainable Consumption and Production. Here's more in this story. While many were not aware that it was actually a day set aside for the celebration of youth worldwide, Guyana joined those worldwide in the play of celebrating youth. The rally and march to the National Cultural Center began at the Ministry of Education on Brick Dam.
There's really a lot to be done, but we appreciate it. They could do a little more for youth in Guyana. They should start with the dropouts, the school dropouts. There's too much of school dropouts, and they should have a better counseling so that the youth of Guyana can learn about their country and their environment.
That I'd like to see more youth involved, especially participating in governance and being there in the decision-making process, because we need to be a part of that process that really makes policies for us. And if we're going to make policies for young people, I think young people need to be a part of that process. I just like to say also that the power is always in our hands, and we need to take advantage of it and don't let it slip through our fingers.
After an opening ceremony, a youth village aimed at providing a friendly and organized environment was launched. Its purpose is to educate through the showcase of a number of interactive booths where young people can develop their knowledge and express their creativity in various forms. It also addressed the needs and issues affecting them.
And on this day of International Youth, I strongly disagree with that mood state that only young people can be involved with negative behaviors, because as we all know that youths are our generation of today and they have hidden talents, but if we don't foster them properly, they would not, or they will never unlock those talents.
And I believe that the youth can come forward with their ideas, and it comes to show that youth cannot be involved in only negative activity but positive one. Today is a day that I believe the youth are uprising and showing what they can do.
Some of those who participated in Guyana's International Youth Day Road Parade. Part of the youth village on the National Cultural Center tarmac was concentrated on young people connecting with the business community, various non-governmental organizations and government agencies, and seeking guidance on future career choices.
Not because you're not seeing them, you're going to put them to a stereotype that they're engaged in negative activities. I know for once, because I'm a social worker, that youths are doing great things and it's positive stuff. And we need to focus on those youths and use them as examples to get those other youths that are in negative activities into the positive light.
Minister Nicolette Henry and other education directors took the salute en route, including the newly installed youth director, Melissa Carmichael.
We can't just say that nothing is being done. What I need to know is what exactly young people want, and I can only get that if I talk to them. So what I want young people to do is engage me. If you see me, stop me, talk to me, so I know exactly what you need and what we should be putting forward for you.
Still to come on Headline News, regional and international news. Stay tuned for news you can believe in.
Women's fashion trends change every day. That's why John Lewis Styles makes it their duty to source items directly from the manufacturing brand. offering you more choices and better prices. Women love to look great, whether it's for work or play. From clothing, shoes, accessories, to handbags, watches, fragrances. Let's make you feel like the only girl in the world. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
With a distinctive flavor, Umda Palka ghee is made from 100% pure vegetable oil. This palka ghee is a delight when preparing sweetmeats and other dishes for healthy cooking with a rich buttery taste and aroma. It is used for religious purposes and is a principal fuel for burning. Umda Palka ghee is light, pure, with a real ghee texture.
Don't let this moment in history pass you by. Kissoons want every Guyanese home to showcase a new piece of furniture to remember this glorious event of our Jubilee celebration. Kissoons have gone crazy. Every item is on sale right through this year in the Big Broad Factory Surplus Sale, up to 50% off for the 50th birthday at Kissoons.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Turning to the region now, we tell you that Cuba is celebrating the 90th birth anniversary of its revolutionary leader Fidel Castro. CNN's Patrick Opman reports from Havana.
What will begin starting this afternoon is some small-scale festivities. We're talking about concerts in the former Cuban leader's honor, photo exhibits, speeches about his long career in politics. Of course, when he stepped down, he was the longest-serving head of state in modern history. So a lot to talk about there, of course. And that they're celebrating anything at all is something of a departure, because in years past, when Fidel Castro was president of Cuba, he typically did not have any kind of public celebrations of his birthday. Unlike other communist heads of state, he didn't want to give at least the outward perception that there is a cult of personality around him here. This year will be a little bit different because of course, he is 90. And so some of the things we can expect are concerts, children singing him happy birthday, even if he's not there. And then, of course, throughout the weekend, there will be a number of small-scale activities. Of course, the headline here really is that Fidel Castro, it's amazing that he's still alive, because it was 10 years ago exactly. He said that he was forced to step down because of a mystery illness, an intestinal illness, and many people then at that point said his life was hanging in the balance. You know, looking back over his long career, of course, there were numerous assassination plots against him. The official number from the Cuban government is over 600 assassination plots against Fidel Castro. And you know, when the last time we saw Fidel Castro, which was back in April, he said that he never expected to live this long, and that's probably one point that his many enemies, Isa, would agree with him on.
Yeah, and Patrick, we were just showing footage there, some video of young Cubans celebrating with a birthday cake, 90-year-old celebration for Fidel Castro just a minute ago. We know that Cuba's changed a lot. Many Cubans now embracing capitalism. Is there still an overwhelming love for Fidel? How is he viewed there?
You know, for young Cubans, it's been 10 years that he's really been out of sight. So while they have some memories of him during their childhood, for a long time, over a decade now, he really has not been a present force here. So on TV, we're seeing his speeches played again. We're seeing articles of his reprinted in the paper here. But for many people, they've just moved on. It's not a factor in their life. They're looking towards the future and very concerned because, of course, with all the economic trouble in Cuba's socialist ally, Venezuela, that is affecting the economy here. Cuba gets much of its oil from Venezuela. We're seeing less of that oil entering the country. So people are very, very concerned. We're seeing an uptick in Cubans leaving the country for the United States, and there's a great deal of concern. So what other parties there are today honoring Fidel Castro, that's very much part of the past, I think a lot of Cubans would say, and not part of their future.
And of course, for his celebration for his 90th birthday, he will see a very different Cuba from the one he led for many, many years. Patrick, how has life changed for ordinary Cubans, would you say?
You know, we've seen so many things happen in really the last 2 years, almost 2 years, with the opening up to the United States. More Americans coming here, more Cubans being able to travel. Raul Castro has unveiled some tentative reforms that Fidel Castro, frankly, resisted. And Fidel Castro has been a critic of the opening with the U.S., but that is very, very popular here. He's talking particularly with young Cubans. They want to have close relations with their neighbor. They want to have a better economy. Fidel Castro was very much in the line of we have to be revolutionary pure, even if that means we don't have cars, even if the economy is in tatters. And more Cubans are looking to escape this period and try to create an economy and a country that is much more prosperous.
International news: with limited opportunities for employment and easy access to drugs, India's Punjab district is losing increasing numbers of young people to addiction and overdose. Can something be done to stop the addiction epidemic? DW reports from Punjab.
Close to the Pakistani border, Gajan Singh lives with his family in Sursing village. 2 of his sons died from drug abuse. Their story is typical of Punjab's lost generation. Both brothers started taking drugs while they were still at school. The family only found out after it was too late. It was really difficult for us. Both of them were young, strong men. I think a lot about them. The oldest son helped on the farm. He died at 23 from an overdose. That was 14 years ago. His brother wanted to be a wrestler. He was just 31 when he died from an infection probably transmitted from a shared needle. Now the youngest son is all the parents have left. I can barely look at the photos. I'm grief-stricken. At night, I can't sleep with the photos hanging on the wall. Many other families in Punjab have similar histories. Drugs are easily available in the border state. They come from Afghanistan via Pakistan. But while easy access is one reason for the high rate of substance abuse, it's not the only trigger, according to psychologist Jagdeep Pal Singh Bhatia. He has been treating addicts for 25 years.
We've been fighting. We've been trying to come out of it. There weren't any facilities for employment. There wasn't any generation of industry. There wasn't any revenue services coming up. And the people of Punjab was just like lying vacant, and they didn't have anything to do.
Nobody knows exactly how many young people are affected. Rehab centers like this one in Punjab's northern city of Amritsar are full, and every day, Bhatia says, some 100 new addicts are waiting at his door. In a village nearby, 22-year-old Punjab Singh is going cold turkey alone. His dad is supporting him. Punjab last injected heroin a week ago. He has been addicted to the drug for 4 years now. I took drugs for fun once, and then it became a habit. Later, I even started selling. I stopped that, but kept using. Now I would just like to finally quit. Now I want to get rid of this evil. I want to do everything for him, and we're also ready to spend money to help him. but we're also expecting him to help us when we grow old. Just the sort of support that Punjab Singh needs to really kick the habit for good this time. He doesn't want to disappoint his father. I listen to my heart, and I am fully determined to get rid of this evil, and my dream is to go abroad. Goals like these help motivate addicts to persevere through their withdrawal symptoms. The only son left in the family from Sursing village wishes every day his brothers had had enough willpower to kick the habit. The 2 pictures hanging on the wall are all he has left of his siblings, memorials to Punjab's lost generation.
And that's Safetv 2 headline news for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Safetv 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and safetv.guyana.com. You can also tune in at 6 p.m. on Sunday for a rebroadcast and Monday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. I'm Mandel Smith, signing out from this newscast. Do have a blessed weekend.